And friends, it's 9:30 Central Standard Time, or Daylight Savings Time, whatever it is. It's 9:30 here, and it's time for Coffee on the Porch. My name is Eric Folkerth. For the next hour, I will be with you live. A little conversation about spirituality, music, politics, life, whatever we want to talk about. Come on in, the coffee's fine. It's time for Coffee on the Porch. Ah, yes. The minor chord at the end, always a good choice. Welcome, friends. Come on in. Hope you're good. You have found, I see the regular crowd is showing up right on time. Believe it or not, I was right on time, as you saw, for the last few weeks. Amazing. I don't know how that's working. I know. We are all here, Bobby says. It's amazing. Yeah, and where you are, in case you are new or watching this later or wondering what the heck this is called Coffee on the Porch. We're not on the porch, but that's the porch in the picture. Once upon a time, we live streamed from the porch, and most of the time now we live stream from the studio upstairs. Same place, just a different, it's here at the log house where I live. Anyway, my name is Eric Folkerth. I do this live stream every week for an hour. We kind of talk about all sorts of stuff. Good morning on this rainy day. It's not raining where I am, Debbie. What are you telling me? And are we about to get rain? I didn't bring everything in I needed to bring in. Dadgum. Okay, now I'm nervous. Do I need to check the radar? What's going on out there? Welcome, Nancy Bryant from Fort Collins, Colorado. Welcome, Linda Waring from Ohio. We have Ohio and Colorado as our first two good mornings. She says from a chilly Fort Collins, Colorado. Wow, okay. Cold up there. Bobby and Debbie are in Plano, Texas. Susan Richmond, welcome. I don't know where you're from, but tell us. Well, introduce yourself. Say hi. Y'all tell me. See, I'm now nervous about this because I've got camping gear in the back that really I would rather not get wet. I probably should have looked at that this morning before coming in here to the studio. Let me see how bad is this. Well, Debbie, now I'm. It's weird because I see up near you. Oh, you've got rain up there. We don't have rain down here. You've got rain up where you are. So far, nothing here. Susan says she's in Yakima, Washington. Wonderful. We used to have a woman from Washington, from Seattle, that joined us, and we haven't seen her in a while. Love if she would come back. Good morning, James Myers, who's down in Houston, Texas. Good morning to Shaw Brewer. Hope you enjoy this. Again, rain in Houston. Well, James, you live in Houston. Duh. Of course it's raining. It just means it's morning. Coffee on the Porch. This is where you are. And a reminder, you guys are all here on time. But there is there's a text reminder for this if you would like to get a little nudge 30 minutes ahead. I saw Bobby and Debbie last week. Was it 2 weeks ago? I don't know. It's running together. I saw them, and they reminded me how helpful this nudge is for them because at 9 o'clock they get a little ping text reminder that, hey, we're going to go live at 9:30, and that way they know to get ready. They get their coffee, they get their mug, they get ready to relax for a bit. So if you want to get a 9 o'clock reminder, the only thing that you'll get is the reminder that says, hey, we'll be on live at 9:30. Feel free. Go to that URL or scan that QR code. That will lead you right there. Let me say hi to Nancy Kelly. Yakima Rock changed my life. Driving bike. Uncle gave me his old kit. The bike. The bike, you mean? Yeah. Oh, the rack that goes on the bike. Is that what you mean? See, James, I there's never enough detail. It's 8:30 in Fort Collins. Of course it is. Welcome to all you early risers, and that means for Susan, man, you're really up early. You're up at what, 7:30? God bless you. That's why we chose 9:30, because it's kind of in the middle of everything. I mean, I guess the East Coast is a little, they're already way into their day. All right, friends, what we do here, we spend a little time where you tell me how you are, and that is in the moment that we call How is Your Soul? Oh, hey, Brad Lind. Good to see you, buddy. I was thinking about you recently. Now I can't remember why, but I was thinking about you. We asked the question, how is your soul? Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Don't just say fine. I'm fine. You may be fine, for all I know. But think about it for a minute. How are you? How you been? How you been? How's the world? And then leave a comment in the comments. Leave it in the comments up there. And then we go back and we talk about them. We talk about how you're doing. And that's the first thing we do. And then we go on to other things. And I play music and we talk about theology and whatever's going on in the world. Brad, you know, oh, look, that's one of the records you gave me. Let me see. The Lynn family, or your brother gave it to me. See that, Brad? That's Shake Russell, songs on the radio. Shake Russell, Dana Cooper. Man, there was a time Shake Russell and Dana Cooper were my favorites for a few. I mean, they're still some of my favorites, but they were playing together. Saw them in the at the Cactus Cafe, in fact. Yeah, true story. And so your brother gave me that record, buddy, and I am, on behalf of him, I thank you. Larry Pennington has joined us also from Colorado, so the Colorado career is here. Shake and Dana were your sister's faves. Oh, that's nice. I like hearing that. They were a thing for a minute. They really were, and they're still playing. Dana Cooper he is amazing as a solo artist. He really is. His song, Standing in My Own Way. Write this down. Standing in My Own Way, Dana Cooper. Go look it up. It's a fantastic song. It's brilliant, brilliant writing. And it's about being your own worst enemy, standing in my own way. It's positive. There will be no more standing in my own way. I don't know if I'm going to see Dana down at the festival. I really hope. Or it might see Shake. Who knows? Temper. Yeah, one of your favorites. All right. Well, we're going to get off onto a rabbit trail, all us old Shake and Dana fans. How is your soul, though? Oh, I have to get my coffee. The first thing we do is we pour the coffee. I always forget the coffee. I drink Onyx coffee from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Wonderful seller. You should check them out. It's smooth, amazing coffee. They're a micro roaster. They are really into their coffee. You can get it at Whole Foods. At least you can get it at Whole Foods around here. But I found them in Fayetteville itself. How is your soul? Ask that same question right on the mug. Take a big sip. Take a deep breath. Yeah. Soul hole should be whole instead. Well, it's whole if it's going well. WHOLE. It's whole if it's going well. Send me anybody I need to meet, Brad. You tell me. You know me. I love meeting people. All right. How's your soul? Y'all are leaving your comments. little musical interlude while you leave a comment. Leave those comments now in the comment section. It's just for your protection. Then we'll talk amongst ourselves and ask if we are sick or if our souls are well. And I just made that up, because that's the way it works. All right, fun stuff. You know, I probably should write a "How Is Your Soul" instrumental that I could just play during that part. All right, let me run it back a bit and see. Good morning, Catbird. Catbird is showing up from Grapevine, Texas, I believe we have learned. Tell me about Tony. Is he at the festival, Brad, or is that just somebody you know in the city? All right, y'all. Carol Ann's asking for your prayer. Ha ha ha. Carol Ann says this: please join me in prayer that the storms will pass before Sunday. Families and flights are coming Friday, and we have a grand gathering of all the kids in the new family for Chinese food. The first time in 20 years that, what? Look at this, y'all. The first time in 20 years that all three of Mike's kids will be together. That's amazing. That's wonderful. What an exciting moment for y'all. And yes, of course you don't want it to rain. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, absolutely. Big prayers for good weather. I know it is... it's supposed to be stormy on and off. I know you know that. I'm worried as well about the festival. I'm about to go out and hang out in a tent for a week, 8 days. And we are supposed to have a big memorial show Monday. And, you know, who knows? I mean, every night of the festival, we don't know. All right. Brad Lind is saying concerning his soul, my soul is whole with normal human questions. Well, that's why we come here, to ask our questions. Larry Pennington says this: he is unsettled, will be unsettled until Trump is out of office. I get that. I 100% get that and understand that. But I hear he's playing golf today, so maybe he won't cause too many problems today. Larry Pennington says, I'm getting back to my songwriting, finished a song that has been in the weeks for a long time. Oh, excellent. Have a couple more in progress. Fantastic, Larry. That's great. You going to post them up? You know, do a little demo video and post it up, man. Share it with us. I think it'd be wonderful. You should. Good morning, Rhonda LeSueur. What a lovely name. Rondé LeSueur. That's a fantastic name. Catbird says this. She's about her soul. She's saying just the normal life stress worries that I'll never be able to retire. And maybe I'll drop dead at my desk like my predecessor. Ooh, yeah, that's hard. Hey, Peter, good to see you, buddy. My good friend Peter McNabb. Soulful guitar music. Thank you for sharing your gifts. Peter, I hope you can stick around for this song. That's the song I'm going to play later. It's an original, and I think it'll make you laugh. Linda Waring in Ohio says this: from 1 week to the next, things don't change much in my life. I would like prayers for 2 longtime friends who have health issues. You got it. You got it. Absolutely. Let's give some prayer. Let's give some shout outs to Linda Waring and up in Ohio and her friends there. Well, it is unsettled. I really hope. And see now, Debbie, you got me worried about this rain. I think the tents are inside. I did bring them inside because if they get wet, that's a mess. There's some other tarps and stuff. I guess it doesn't really matter if they get wet. I'm talking to myself here. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I am worried, though. I'm headed down to Kerrville tomorrow, and I have similar weather worries to Carol Ann. It's, from what I can see, it's been raining there almost every day. I think, James, you getting a lot of rain in Houston? Because I think it's been a lot of rain. And thankfully, Please, God. They have not been terrible storms, but you worry because you're in a tent with 2,000 to 3,000 of your closest friends, all also in tents, trembling at the weather. Okay, Larry says, in terms of his songs, there is one video on YouTube. Look up Circles and Stories, Circle Stories, Larry Pennington. I will, absolutely. And then Walter's song, written for your grandfather. Oh, fantastic. That's wonderful, Larry. Great. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. All right, let's just get into me and me telling you thank you for sharing, everyone, how you all are as we check in. And let me tell you how I've been and what I've been up to since we gathered oh, good. Thunderstorms pushed to noon, so I'm good. Thank you, Debbie. Breathe deep, Eric. Thank you, Debbie. I want to tell you what I've been up to this week. This is my dear friend Hadi Jawad. And this is Hadi speaking at a vigil that he invited me to last week, a very somber moment. This was a vigil marking the 600th execution, 600th execution in the state of Texas. There was some slight hope that this execution would be postponed, but because, shockingly, the appellate court put a stay on it. And then the Supreme Court swept in and said, no, it's okay, you can kill him. So the execution was last week. And Hadi and his friends with the Dallas Human Rights Campaign decided that they would hold vigil on the day that happened. So he invited me to speak, and he said some beautiful words at the start. He said, it's hard to plan a vigil for something that you don't want to happen. So anyway, so thank you to Hadi for that invitation, and God bless him and all the people standing up against the death penalty. Susan Richmond says this: I just got back from Arkansas, where family cleaned up the family graveyard. Alaska, is that Alaska? That's Alaska. AK is Alaska, sorry. Alaska, where family cleaned up the family graveyard. We buried my husband there in 2022. It was a bittersweet time. Wow, yes. I planted bleeding hearts and black-eyed Susans. Oh, beautiful. I love black-eyed Susans. We have some around here. They grow almost everywhere. You probably know that. It's amazing. Larry recently lost his wife, Susan. Susan, you guys have that in common. We got a lot of people here that have been through deep griefs in the last few years. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And thank you for contributing. We had a good week at Kessler Park. This was Sunday. Had a good Sunday. It was a full Sunday. We had a lot of stuff going on. We recognized a graduating senior, Aaron Pelletier, to the left here. That's me praying with him. He is a dual high school / college graduate. We have this cool program in Dallas with Dallas College where kids can graduate with joint high school college degrees. We also had these whistle kits that had been produced by our friends, our youth group, rather, for our friends in Oak Cliff. These are whistle kits for the migrant community and the Latino community and, frankly, the community in general. That you carry these around, and if you see ICE in action, you blow the whistle and you sound the alarm. And you share that with everyone. So thank you to our youth for getting involved and making some whistle kits, and we will be distributing those soon. We also had Paul here. Paul is in the picture with me here at a vigil. This is not from Sunday. Paul was the head of Hutchins, is the head of a group called Hutchins United, was the key layperson involved in stopping the ICE warehouse here in Dallas County. He was the key local person in Hutchins, along with our clergy group, Clear. And he had wanted to come to Kessler because the press conference that Clear held was at Kessler and just thank us for all that we have done. So he came and gave a little thanks, and he told this amazing story, which I'd heard, but he read part of the card. He actually, in the middle of all this, he reached out to the people, to the owners of the warehouse in Hutchins. And I feel like I may have lost it too. I got to tell you. Susan says she's lost the feed. It feels like it's frozen again or something. I don't know. Let me see. Y'all tell me if the rest of you are still seeing anything, because it's frozen on a picture for me. It looks like the, I don't know. I can't tell. See, this is one of those annoying moments where now suddenly I can't tell what's going on, and Substack makes it hard for me to check. You see it? You're all good? Okay. You see me? Hopefully you see me. Anyway, Paul called the office of Majestic Realty in LA, and they put him through. He asked for one of the Roskis, and they put him through to one of the high ups in that company, one of the members of the Roski family, and they started a conversation which lasted for several weeks. He introduced himself as somebody from Hutchins, Texas, that was opposed to the sale of this warehouse, and she was on his side, as it turns out. She was in the company and very upset about all this, and thanked him and said, "I'll get back to you." And she did. She did. She came. He came. She got back to him and basically said to him, "We are going to have a meeting and we are going to talk about this, and just sit tight." And so on Valentine's Day, they had an emergency company meeting, and then they voted to not sell the warehouse to ICE. And then she sent him from Los Angeles a handwritten thank you note. And he told this story on Sunday, and it was a powerful story for us to remember. I think it's what we know. There is a way that we can resist injustice without demonizing people that we are opposed to, people that we want to behave differently and be different. That doesn't mean everybody's going to have that kind of change of heart, but it's a good reminder that in that company, and probably in every company that's watching this horror with ICE unfold, that there are people who don't agree with what's going on. We're pretty clear that's the case with ICE as well. So it was fascinating to us to hear Paul's story. And so he came on Sunday and told us that story, and now I'm sharing it with you. And it's a good reminder, I think especially those of us who come out of a faith tradition should remember and believe that people really can change. People really can do the right thing. Sometimes they need the nudge. I think in that case, she and others in the company needed the nudge of the community of Dallas, of people of faith and just people who were opposed, to write and call and push that company to really ask the hard questions about this, to not just go through with the sale. So thank you to Paul for that great story, that great hopeful story. You can make a difference. And if you made calls, some of you did, I know, or emails, you made a difference there. You really, really did. So thank you for that. Also, this last week, I was over at North Haven, my former church. I'm going to be there again this afternoon for a memorial service. And I'm super excited about this. This is me and Ann Willett on the right, who is the current pastor of North Haven. Ann is retiring this year. And then we have the brand new pastor of North Haven in the middle of this picture. So 3 generations of North Haven pastors right there for you, and I'm very excited for this. So anyway, that was exciting moment. Then y'all, I got to tell you, I got out of town. Yeah, isn't that a great picture? I know. I'm so happy about this. Thank you, Peter. We're very excited for this. That was at our district conference. Y'all, I've told you about how stressful I've been sharing here. How stressful this last few months have been. Just a lot going on in the world, in the church, in life, everything. It's just all fallen in on me. So I got out to the lake for a few days. I went out there. When did I go? I went Thursday and was there Thursday to Saturday and did a little work, but I mostly did stuff like this and just prayed and meditated and wrote in my journal and just took some time away. And it's a really good thing and a good moment. And now that I've done it, I feel more morally allowed to remind you to do it. Y'all, take the time. It's very, very easy, especially in anxious times, to just get going and going and going. I feel like that's kind of what I did the last few months. I know not to. I know it up here, but I sometimes don't know it here, or I don't know it in my body. And my mind says, I can do the one more thing. I can do the one more thing. Manoush Zomorodi is a reporter for NPR and does podcasts, and she has this great quote, which is going to segue into what I'm about to say next. I think. No, actually, that was another. I've written a lot this week, and I'm losing track of it all. But let me get her quote because I want to get it right. It's very simple. I should memorize this. Wrong direction. Where'd I go? Manoush Zomorodi. Here's the quote from her book. You can only do so much isn't just a saying to make you feel better when you drop a ball on something. It's a neuroscientific fact. Let me read that again. That's a mic drop quote. You can only do so much. You can only do so much, however you want to say it, isn't just a saying to make you feel better when you drop the ball on something. It's a neuroscientific fact. We say to ourselves we can just push through. We can just keep going. I say that to myself. I think so many people do. I can just do the one more thing. I know, but they need me. I know, but this has to happen. I know, but I'm responsible for this. All sorts of things you can say to yourself. My family needs me. My church needs me. The community needs me. Friends need me. Whatever it is. I'll just do the one more thing. There's always the one more thing. And so you can only do so much isn't just something we say when we feel like we've dropped the ball or failed. It's literally neuroscientific. We have to rest. We have to pull back. We have to turn off the screens sometimes. We do. And we have to renew. So I've been on a quest for about the last month. I got back into therapy. I'm doing my exercise again. I'm trying to eat better again. And I did this. I went out for a couple of days, and it's a recentering, and it takes time. It takes time to get back. You don't just do it I don't think you do it in one day, or at least I don't. If it's going to really be a good habit, it takes gentleness with yourself and then intention to reconfigure the way you spend your time and attention. And so that's what I'm in the midst of right now. James Meyer says this. I know, James, I agree with you, buddy. Kind of shocked that Texas hit 600 executions. How are we in this place? It keeps getting darker. It does. That's what I'm saying, James. That's out there. This stuff is out there. I went to that. This is a good story. This is good to say. So I was here at the vigil on Thursday evening, And then I prayed and I opened the vigil and we named the harm of 600 executions. And then I went over and I gave Hadi a big hug and I said, Hadi, I'm sorry, but I've got to go, because I didn't tell him why, honestly, but here's where I had to go. And this was, I got in the car and I drove out to the lake. And I took this picture 2 hours later. We have to do that. If we're going to do the one thing, if we're going to be involved in the world, however that is for us, whatever we do, we have to do the other thing. And I know this, I've just kind of forgotten it, or I had forgotten it, and I'm remembering it. So remembering my body as well. All right, well, that's what was going on with me this week. I wrote several pieces over on Substack. Thank you for letting me share what's going on in my life. I want to be cognizant of the time as well, which I think we're doing good. But I wrote two things which got some very nice comment, and they're kind of related. They're in the same ballpark. Let me say this. Destruction happens fast. Creation takes time. That's the first piece. I think I wrote that on Wednesday, maybe last Wednesday. And then I wrote this next one when I got back from the lake. Wildflowers grow where they will. Destruction happens fast. Creation takes time. Let me talk about both of these in succession and talk about what I mean by that. And the first one, destruction takes time, destruction happens fast, creation takes time, is the story of these three ferns that you see on our front porch. And yes, those are still our Christmas lights up. I'm unashamed to show you this. Yes, I have to get out on the roof, and I haven't done that yet, and don't judge me. But they're on our porch for many years. Some of you know or have seen this before. There's a lot going on the porch, but you see the three hanging baskets, the three asparagus ferns, and you can see they're in beautiful, beautiful shape there. Here's the deal with those asparagus ferns. 2 years ago, there was a hard freeze in the wintertime. Two winters ago, hard freeze in the wintertime, and I failed to bring them in. They're among the only plants that aren't hardy enough. You got to bring them in. So I forgot, and the hard freeze got them. And then the next day it was still going to be cold, so I said, well, I think I'll still bring them in. Well, probably both the hard freeze and then bringing them into the very warm house, not a good idea. A lot of shock. They died. They absolutely died. So depressing. And let me tell you, those needles, they're like little pine needles, and they just fell off everywhere. I mean, just brown needles all over the floor that you have to vacuum up for days. I was so depressed. So I pulled them off the front porch, took them into the back. It was too cold to do anything else. I just let them sit around. Yeah, why not leave the Christmas lights up? Thank you, Peter. Thank you for absolving me of this. Yeah, I like to say I meant to do that. And, in a month, there'll be Christmas decorations in a store somewhere, so why not? I put them on the back porch. I just set them aside. And then later in the winter, I cut it back to about this much. I didn't expect them to come back, but it's like, well, I'll just give them a shot. I watered them a little bit. I made sure they had plenty of sun. And I got to tell you that for months, nothing, just dead. And I was very confident that come the spring, I was just going to be throwing these things out. And then somewhere in spring and summer, not even just right away, but somewhere in the middle, I just left them. I noticed that little bitty green was popping up in the middle of all the brown dead stuff. It's like, holy crap, these things are not dead. So a little fertilizer, a lot more water, a lot more sun. And that was a year and a half ago, almost. It's not, I guess it's really more a year and a half, not 2 years. I've been saying 2 years, and here's how they look today. And this is a picture of just a week or two ago. They're beautiful. They're wonderful. They've come back completely. And so this gave me a metaphor that I wanted to share with you all and that I wrote about in the first essay this week. And that is that destruction happens fast, creation takes time. I think we're seeing this in the world itself right now. We're seeing certainly that in the administration, whether it's Doge, whether it's guardrails about voting, whether it's funding of the federal government, shutting it down, FEMA, all these things. We're seeing this sort of intentional breaking of things, destroying things that took years and years and years to build up. I think worse than just the financial part or the law part, but just the human decency part of everything, that we're destroying that Trump destroys that as well. Good morning, Mark Greenberg. Welcome you. And the painting over the whales. Thank you, Carol Ann. Thank you for that good example. I should have put a picture of that up here. Here in Dallas this week, we've had this beautiful whale mural downtown that wraps around a building. And some eagle-eyed people whipped out their cameras because all of a sudden in one day, just paint it over for no particular reason whatsoever. Just paint it over. That beautiful art. They're going to put up another mural, allegedly, for the World Cup. That's coming. World Cup's coming to Dallas. We can talk about that in a minute, too. Speaking of murals, my friend Isaac did the mural. I think I showed you the mural in our neighborhood that he did for our hood. If you'd ever been to Deep Ellum, he did this brilliant mural of Nolan Ryan punching out a guy. Do you remember this scene? There was a mural for years. It was huge on the side of a building. And this asshole owner of the new owner came in to open a club, and he just painted the whole building black, and he painted over a whole side of gorgeous art, just like this, overnight. All that beautiful art just gone. Destruction happens quickly, often. Creation takes time. The creative process takes time. And I think this is what we learn from gardening. I think it is. And so this is what I learned in the second picture on the right here, the second essay, Wildflowers Grow Where They Will. I planted, y'all, I think they're still coming up. They're just slow. I spewed wildflower seeds all over the flower beds. The front beds behind me, the side beds over here, the beds in the back of the house. A ton of wildflower seeds. Little bitty sprigs are coming up, but it's going very slowly. But here's what's funny. These little plants in the picture on the... Oh, I think I actually have the actual picture, don't I? Oh, I do. Yeah. I have the actual... There you go. You can see it without the lettering. On the right here, you can see these are actually growing out of the sidewalk, out of the walkway. They're growing out of the walkway, not where I planted them, but in a place where I didn't plant them. Wildflowers grow where they will. I saw that at the lake as well this week. In the middle, you see these sort of, what color would you call that? Reddish, purplish? I don't know what that color. It's an orangey red. These are some kind of mum. These were covered up with weeds, with kudzu. Kudzu grows like crazy out there. And 2 winters ago, probably about the time of that freeze, paradoxically, I ripped out all this kudzu that my mom simply had not been able to take care of when she had the lake house. And now, 2 years later, I just looked down. Like suddenly there are these mums growing, these chrysanthemums. It's like, what the heck? And I texted Denise. It's like, did you plant these? It's like, no. They just came back magically. And then finally, the picture on the left, you see the beginning of a trumpet vine that has also been growing for about a year. Our dear friends, if you know the Garden Cafe, you know they have these wonderful arches with trumpet vine, and we're trying to get one like that at the lake. So Dale Wooten at the Garden Cafe gave me a little bitty trumpet vine, and son of a gun if it isn't growing. But the point of all this is it takes time. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time. It takes energy. It takes patience. Patience. And of course, the wildflowers growing where they will reminds me of the parable of the sower. That our job is not to control the outcomes, but our job is to sow the seeds. I mean, it's literally there in the parable. If we're going to be a good sower, we make your plan. By all means, make a plan. But remember what John Lennon says, life is what happens when you're making other plans. The plan will change. What you think will happen probably will not happen. And the spiritual wisdom is to trust that somewhere in there, the plan will work, but it will work through both what you did and through the Spirit, which is beyond your control. Spirit of God, which moves in and through all things. I believe this very, very strongly. And I believe we don't do this enough in the church as well. I'm afraid I worry about this a lot. That we take these business practices from the world of making mission statements and goals for the year and goals for the quarter or goals for whatever, and we try to start and grow new things, and then it doesn't happen the way we think it's going to, so we pull the plug. My sense is that we pull the plug on almost everything we try too soon, and we forget and don't have the patience to see it out. This has been my constant message at Kessler Park over the past few years. We've very intentionally set out to reach young families. We said this, the church said this before I got there. That's how long this is as a mission. My predecessor, Wes Magruder, hired Kay Ash to be our minister with children. And for many years, there were no children. There were 0 children in worship every week. But we very intentionally did several things. We expanded our day school from 40 kids to 100 kids. Kay started a remarkable, after, you know this, I talk about it all the time, the Wednesday Night Live program that started with 7 kids 5 years ago. We now have 50 to 70 kids every Wednesday night. It's remarkable, remarkable. And now some of those families are making their way into the church. It's wonderful. We've had 10 infant baptisms the last 2 years. It's amazing. Absolutely wonderful. I know Kay's amazing, isn't she? Isn't she amazing? So, but my point is that has taken somewhere, depending on how you count, it was 10 years ago when they made that goal. It was 7 years ago they hired Kay, and it's 6 years ago when I came, and now here we are. See how long that span is? You can do it, but it takes time. Destruction happens in a moment. Creation takes time. And trust that it can work out. Both myself and one of my members, Robin Linick, made a trip over here to Halperin Park. This is me sometime last week, and Halperin Park is a beautiful example in Oak Cliff that we're seeing of new hopeful things popping up. Halperin Park is a deck park. If you know the story of Clyde Warren Park on the north side of town, how it stitched together uptown and downtown, this is a similar move and concept. This is a deck park between what you might call what I would call it the 10th Street area. That's the most clear way, which is a mostly African American neighborhood, and the more white part of North Oak Cliff. And you can actually see in the back, it may be too small on your screen, but you can actually see the interstate signs beyond the park. You can see one of the interstate signs. So this is a park with grass and a water feature and an amphitheater and benches and trees and beautiful wildflowers that they've opened. And y'all, it's gorgeous. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. It's fantastic, and it's open for all of Oak Cliff. And I've been by there a couple times, and there's people there all the time. Kudos to the Halperins, who I'm told are I should reach out to, which I will. And kudos to Edwin Cabanas. It's not an accident that I'm wearing my Longhorn Ballroom hat here. Edwin is a neighbor in Kessler Park, and he was one of the members of the original committee that visioned this park. He's also one of the ones that has very slowly over time brought back the Kessler Theater and brought back the Longhorn Ballroom. This is what people in Oak Cliff do. They have a sense of the scale and the patience it takes to bring new life to this already existing beautiful area. And so that's what we are trying to do at Kessler Park. And, you know, I showed you the pictures from Sunday. I mean, this is not the greatest picture because it's just a couple of kids in both cases. But, yeah, here's some of our kids, you know. Here's two of our kids and some of the great things they're doing. And I've previously showed you pictures of all the children that are coming to worship. This is really happening. But, again, destruction happens fast. Creation takes time. And the wildflowers bloom where they will. That's what Jesus said. Jesus said they're going to bloom where they will. All sorts of reasons why they might not bloom. You can't control all of that, but you can do what you can do and then have the faith and trust in God. That's literally what faith is. I think more than anything, faith is more than belief. It's definitely more than belief in propositions, you know, a creed. It's definitely more than believing in a creed or a mission statement or about our church page on a website. It's more than that. It's a bedrock trust. Faith is a trust. Trust that graciousness and compassion and love really can win even in a world filled with destruction. So that's the message of all of that. So thank you for listening to that. And now it's going to be time for a song. I'm going to play a crazy ass original song. I think I've told you, I am going to Kerrville tomorrow, God willing. And we'll be there for, God willing, about a week. I hope this is what happens. Never know. The world is crazy. Things can intervene. I think I've told you that I'm working on some new songs, and this is one of the new songs. I don't think I've ever played this song on Coffee on the Porch, which is crazy, but I love this song. This song is deeply personal. You may know that way back in my ministry career, I did mission work for many years, and we built a lot of habitat houses. We built and maintained clinics, an eye clinic in Haiti. We really were involved in the more hands-on mission, not mission meaning helping people with their actual physical needs, not just praying for their soul, not making them listen to a sermon before they get a sandwich, just freaking feeding them. That's my sense of mission. We ended up in life having to move back to the suburbs, which was a big shock to me because that was not what I thought I was going to be doing. And so in order to cope with my own shock, I wrote this song. Oh, shoot, Peter. I'm sorry. Well, come back and hear this song. Really. Go to the YouTube or my Substack later. I want you to hear this song because it's hilarious. They spent 10 years overseas building houses for the poor, cured famine and disease, lived through several civil wars. With their tour of duty done, they just signed up for more, but were stunned at the assignment that they drew. Missionaries to suburbia. The whole idea might seem quite absurd to ya, but they just might have a word for ya. Those missionaries to suburbia. So they built a brand new house out in Pleasant View Estates, tilled organic gardens for all the food they ate, dug a front yard well next to the Zero Escape, went off the grid with a solar array. Missionaries to suburbia. The whole idea might seem quite absurd to ya, but they just might have a word for ya. Those missionaries to suburbia. Then they held an open house, invited all their neighbors in, shared pictures and told stories of everywhere they'd been. They said all around this world people live content with less. They smile every day and they don't have half your stress. And the truth behind all truths that can finally set you free just cannot be found in a bigger SUV. Yeah, 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 yeah. So the very next day, here came the neighborhood protectors, flanked by two ticket-toting building code inspectors who tagged a dozen things not approved in that sector, then gave them 30 days more to comply. Missionaries to suburbia. The whole idea might seem quite absurd to ya, but they just might have a word for ya. Those missionaries to suburbia. And so a month to the day, the cops came to take 'em down. They beat upon that front door while the neighbors gathered round. They roped off a crime scene and let 'em off in chains. But the missionary smiled and just sang this short refrain. You owe, it's off to work you go. So long, farewell, enjoy your hell. You owe, missionaries to suburbia. The whole idea might seem quite absurd to ya, but they just might have a word for ya. Those missionaries to suburbia. Yeah, 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 yeah. Missionaries to Suburbia, y'all. It's kind of a new old song for me. Kind of a science fiction alternate universe. What would happen if the missionaries moved to suburbia? I think maybe suburbia, I think maybe Americans need it more than almost anybody. I mean, how many times have we talked about Christian nationalism today? How many times have we talked about this? That we all need more of a sense of faith and trust. All right. Oh, thank you. Hey, Tim Payne, welcome to you. Good to see you, buddy. Bobby Berger says Songs Keeper next CD. Yes, I think. In fact, I think I'll play you a little clip from how it's sounding. Good morning, Brenda Pinner. Welcome to you. And Larry Pennington is clapping. Yeah, so this is one of the songs that I've been working on, and I really like the way it's sounding. Let me. I want to play some of this for you. Do you mind? This is not done, and it's not going to sound great because I'm going to play it through the mic from my phone. But this is, let me turn up the volume here. Yeah, about here. Hopefully you'll be able to hear this. Let me play you through the first chorus. Thanks for the tune and the encouragement. Good. Oh, excellent. All right, touche. I'm heading off to my indie bookshop in suburbia. Thank God for indie bookshops in suburbia. The thing that frustrates me the most is the non-indie shops in suburbia. So local stuff, awesome, all the way. Let me go ahead. I'm going to play you the first verse chorus of this just so you can get a sense of how this is sounding. Here we go.
Building houses for the poor, cured famine and disease, lived through several civil wars. With their tour of duty done, they just signed up for more, but were stunned at the assignment that they drew. Missionaries to suburbia. The whole idea might seem quite absurd to ya, but they just might have a word for ya. Those missionaries to suburbia. So they built a
All right, well, you get it. That's how it goes. That's how it's sounding. I really like it. I think it's gonna be super fun. I gotta hit this again because I froze on my end. It's gonna be super fun. I'm very, very excited about it. So, all right, friends, we are at the end of our time, and I need to give you a brief reminder about this then, and that is that what's going on here? Oh, I see. I went too far. I am going to be out for 2 weeks. I'm going to be out. Hard beat. You like that? Yeah. 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 Well, yeah. I mean, I would like to, I'd like to do it. I'd like to do some vinyl. I'm going to try to do an album with a few enough songs to do vinyl. I'm going to leave myself that option, Bobby. God willing, will be at the Kerrville Folk Fest. I know I will almost certainly be there next week at this hour because the memorial service, which I am the host for, I am the host of the Memorial Night concert, and it's going to be big. Y'all pray for us because that will be Monday night of Memorial Day weekend, and we will be naming and remembering the floods of last year, which happened right after the festival, as you may recall. And we will be remembering the heroic efforts that the festival and everyone in that area, all the people who live there full time, did to build again. It's like the message of today, build back. Destruction happens quick. Building back takes time. So we're going to name that piece. And then, unfortunately, we've had an awful lot of people in the community die. A lot of the regulars, a lot of the older generation, people a little bit older than me, are passing on. And so it's been a year of real loss of musicians, Chris Gage, Joe Ely. There's going to be others, and I'm sorry, so I shouldn't name just those two, but those are the two that popped to my mind. Many others, many other dear friends who have died this last year. So I host that on Monday night, and so Tuesday morning, unless there's some horrible thing happening, I'm going to be asleep Tuesday morning. That's my goal. So we will not be here next Tuesday. Then the following Tuesday, I will be in Wichita Falls for our annual conference. So the bottom line is that I will not be here for the next 2 Tuesdays. That's just the way it works. And that means that the next time I am with you is June 9th. So that's almost like a month. It's 3 weeks, 3 full weeks of time till we are together again. So June 9th is the time that we come back. So here was your song today, the unreleased Missionaries to Suburbia, which you then heard a bit of just then. Speaking of my music, I've been playing my own music the last few weeks just because I'm working on these songs and I enjoy it. But to remind you, I have these 2 wonderful records out. I have Rock Hammer to the Stone, and I have Unfinished Business, which came out last year. These are 2 records in 2 years. It's kind of remarkable and stunning. So you can find them anywhere you listen to music, as you see on the bottom there. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. You can buy CDs from me. You can find it on Bandcamp, which I really like. All these things. So if you're interested, check it out. Check out my music there. All right, friends. Let's wrap it up. Let's get going. I'm being told that I was frozen. Hope that's not true, but nope, looks like it's back. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you for being with me. Pray for Carol Ann this weekend. Let's celebrate with our good friend Carol Ann, who's here every week, just about. God bless you and Mike, and you guys have a great weekend. And what a big deal! What a big deal that is for y'all. Fantastic. So thinking for y'all, thinking about y'all, and thinking about all of us these next few weeks. I will see you on June 9th. God bless you and keep you until we are together again. This has been Coffee on the Porch. Bye-bye.